And with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and today we're making this message for the DSOs that are out there. I've definitely helped. We've helped DSOs launch ortho in their practices, plural. There's different ways you can do this, and a lot of it depends on your geography and your resources. And we are super glad to do a consultation with you. We'll do a preliminary consult, which is up to 20 minutes, just to kind of hear you guys out for no cost. You can schedule that at straightsmilesolutions.com/straightsmilesolutions.com/contact, or just go to the contact us page on our website. If you're looking for a little bit more than 20 minutes, our sessions do go at $900 an hour. So, and we're glad to work with DSOs on that. We can bill hourly, or we can also work something else monthly, a monthly retainer that is paid upfront, to help you guys out with either the whole organization of it, the operations of it, or even help you with basic treatment planning education. But what I recommend, I mean, this can be really tricky. I do recommend having an orthodontist who is your clinical manager, whether you're going to use a remote orthodontist or if you're going to use an in-person orthodontist, and then running the cases under that orthodontist, and then educating your GPs to do the actual hands-on legwork. And what doesn't work is just telling all your GPs, hey, by the way, you're doing this now. That doesn't work. I've done this before with DSOs. I can tell you it doesn't work. The best way to do this, and I don't know the culture of your DSO, but I've worked with DSOs that are small, small group practices, multiple locations, and very large ones with dozens, if not more, locations. Those are the ones I've directly worked with. So I call these small to medium. What doesn't work is just, like I said, telling them they have to do this. What does work is putting it out there, saying we're going to be starting an orthodontic education module. You can start screening and getting support on your cases with an orthodontist. We will help you do your cases correctly. And of course, you need to decide what modality you're using. What are you using? Are you doing aligners only? Are you doing aligners and braces? Are you doing aligners, braces, and phase one? And a lot of that's going to really depend on the demographics of your practices, and what's going on. So that's something we can definitely talk a little bit more about. I mean, certainly I've started the whole braces thing in DSOs, and it's a lot harder than just doing aligners. Doing aligners, I mean, it's going to be a million times easier if you get an iTero, because I do really think that you're just not going to get the outcomes you want if you're using anything but Invisalign. It's going to be substandard, or it's going to be so limited in terms of the cases you can take. And unless you have someone pre-screening the cases for you and really helping you cherry pick which ones can be done with a more limited system, it's not going to work out. You're going to end up with a bunch of cases you guys can't finish. The other thing you need to keep in mind if you're doing this, if you're incentivizing or providing support for your general dentist, pediatric dentist to do ortho at your DSO, is you need to think about payments. And what you don't want to do is pay them up front or pay them on production, like up front. That's a huge, huge, huge mistake. You want to incentivize them to finish the case ideally, so the bulk of the compensation should be at the finish, not at the start. And this goes for any DSO, whether you're hiring an orthodontist or you're hiring a GP that does ortho. The bulk of the compensation should be at the successful finish after final records are taken. So I've done this before. We've done the third method, which is, I mean, and personally, I prefer to do more like 20% up front and less, but third is generally pretty fair. First of all, you need to find out you need to work out who's paying for lab fees, and a lot of that's going to depend on how you compensate them. Obviously, ortho is heavy lab fee dependent. So you need to figure out how they're going to do that, and that's something we can definitely work out. Usually it works better if the DSO covers the lab fee, and then they, if they're making 20-25%, 30% on the case, after the lab fee, then we do third. So third of the collection is, if you do collections, is paid up front. A third is paid through, and that incentivizes them to start the case. That also gives the production to the office, so the office meets goals, and that's generally how insurance often is billed, is there's a little bit more upfront. And you can't bill insurance until you've delivered something. So, you want to, of course, that third is not paid until delivery of the aligners, putting all the braces on and the appliances. Delivering the interceptive appliance. So that's when that lands. The next third is paid throughout the lifetime of the treatment plan. So if this is an 18 months treatment plan, if this is a 12 months treatment plan, if this is a 6-month treatment plan, it's given and it's broken up into chunks. That is paid automatically monthly as the patient's coming in. And the last third is paid at successful completion of the case, when the braces come off, when the Invisalign is done and the patient has signed off that they are satisfied with the outcome and retainers have been delivered and final records have been taken. So you want to make sure that if somebody is following up and this charge out, in terms of how this is paid, that you really have someone high level that knows ortho, that can make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that last bit of compensation doesn't come until everything's done. Because if you do not do this and you do not end weight it like this, you're just going to have a whole bunch of sloppy cases being done, and they're not going to be done right, because the doctor and the team and the manager isn't going to care, because they get their production whether it's done right or done wrong, and we want it to be done right. And if you incentivize the payments like that, then they're done with a lot more quality and care and accuracy. So this always works better. So you need to let your teams and your assistants and your office managers and everybody know how the compensation is going to work. And of course, it's also great, when there's some type of incentive for the office, to do cases and things like that. Obviously, coming up with monthly goals is a good idea. Coming up, and then when they meet goal, everyone gets a bonus in the office. The whole office does. That's actually a great idea. So it's not that hard. It really isn't. And everyone can get really excited and get involved in it. So hopefully this was helpful. We're glad to chat with you if you have questions. Thank you.